it's sort of like he's been chasing this approval all of this time, and it feels like that is the attainable thing that he absolutely wants, and he's working so hard to get it, and he's taking advantage of the fact that he's got Iroh there by his side through thick and thin. Then when it's a classic case of when you finally get what you want, you look around and you realize it's not as great as what you thought it was. Especially when he looks around and to his side, Iroh's no longer there. So he gets that value, and he realizes that he, in this moment, had chosen fear of abandonment and legacy over the love and growth that he had with his uncle Iroh. And that's why I loved his arc where he was running the tea shop with Iroh. I thought him in Ba Sing Se running that tea shop, that was perfect Zuko. That was him beginning to move on through a like a healing sort of journey. You could see him beginning to work through some things. He actually took some time for himself in one of my favorite episodes, The Tales of Ba Sing Se.
Oh yeah,
Date.
what a good episode.
Oh man, it's just that hits you in the feels, that one.
Can we really, after you mentioned that, we got to stop and talk about it. Like it's
Yeah, I
just
think so. I think
it's
so.
so good. It's literally like you think the episode starts and you go, Tales of Ba Sing Se. This sounds like it
This
could
is a
be a
film.
throwaway. Yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds like this could definitely be a throwaway episode. And then like all the stories are good in their own right, but obviously the Iroh story is
Yeah.
everyone's a gangster until Iroh starts singing, and then everyone's crying.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah.
100% agree. And the most special part about this is obviously this is dedicated to Mako, who was the voice of Uncle Iroh as well. At the end, that's a little end tag credit.
Yeah, in honor of Mako, I believe it is. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
it's crazy too because like obviously that was his final appearance as Ari the VA, but then obviously it's continued by Greg Baldwin in the next season. I'm not going to get into book 3 because this is about book 2, but I think Greg does such an amazing job taking over from Mako. Like it's for me, it's sort of hard to especially when I was a kid, I had no idea that the VA changed because he does such a good
Yeah.
honor to that VA. Obviously, he's not the same, but pretty close to it. But yeah, no, it was such a touching episode, and just when he goes, "I wish I could have helped you the way I've helped everyone else," and you just like little soldier boy leaves from the vine. You just like,
Yeah, I'm getting goosebumps now. And I like how he had sung that previously in his little segment of the Tales of Ba Sing Se. He'd
mm,
sung that previously when he was helping somebody out, just sort of casually, but you can see how emotional that song really does hit him and how special it is when he does that ceremony for his son. And you'd
yeah.
heard previously before that, he'd lost a son in the battle, but he really holds so much like guilt about that, and he's honoring
And,
him in such a special way.
and you can see, especially out of this episode, you can see why he's so like attached to Zuko because it's like the son that he lost. This is
Mm,
like a son that he can like this is and especially the last 3-4 years he's been traveling around exclusively with Zuko, and you don't travel around with someone for 3-4 years and not
yeah.
get that attachment. So
Exactly. And I
yeah,
think
no,
that's why it's simply 5 episodes later when he is eventually betrayed by Zuko, it hits him so hard in this sort of moment as well. But this episode also highlights elements of the other characters as well that we kind of don't really get to see. Like we saw that Toph and Katara were having trouble sort of getting along because they were the two girls in the Avatar group, but they were two completely different girls, and they never really sort of got along. But in this episode, The Tales of Ba Sing Se, they enjoy a girls' day out together. And again, they learn to embrace their differences and actually come together and blossom a friendship.
and just on that too, this is a little tidbit that I don't know if you picked up on, but um, I really like this episode too, and that little segment of the episode because obviously Toph goes like to Katara goes Toph like you're actually really pretty, and then Toph goes like I've never really cared about what anyone thinks about me, but like she's obviously still gets upset when people are like mean to her because she's still a little girl, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Doesn't matter how good she is at earthbending. Then Katara goes like you know you're really pretty, and she goes like really, and she goes yeah you really are, and the thing I like about that is that Toph can tell if she's lying. So obviously she knows she's not. She is telling the truth because you know how
Yeah.
Toph can tell people who's lying by their
Yeah.
heartbeat
Yeah.
through their thing. So like it's really like even better when Katara says that and like she can tell that she's telling the truth. So that's just
Mm.
some really nice.
Yeah. I love how they built that connection too, because I think Toph had been in the series for about 10 episodes previous to that, and we had seen her being very cold towards Aang, and she's kind of like the shake up that the Aang crew needed in terms of adding an extra character. I think they couldn't have done better than with Toph. And it helped them grow to the point where it brought out something new in each of the original three, in Katara, Sokka, and also Aang.
Mm,
And yeah, the Tales of Ba Sing Se, it just takes a moment to look at each character, and it tells us every character we're looking at here has a story, and every person carries burdens that we might not know about. And that's a lesson you can take in life as well. You don't know why people are acting the way that they're acting. We say in the schoolyard all the time, people come to school with a backpack full of things that you don't know. And we're not talking about a backpack with their lunchbox in it. We're talking about, we don't know what happened to them this morning. We don't know why they're acting angry when they're usually acting quite happy. You really have to take that moment to get to know them. And this episode allowed us to do that with a lot of the characters. Um,
yeah.
yeah, it showed us that connection sort of matters most.